Hi, hello, my name's Than, short for Nathaniel. Today, we're gonna be talking about and reviewing the new Patrick Ta Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. And this isn't like a first impression for me, it's more of like a second impression because I was sort of playing and swatching and stuff earlier just to check out some of the shades, so I haven't checked out all of the shades, but you know, it's mostly a first impression, but just so you know. And I think I'm also gonna throw in the Bare Minerals Blonzer in the shade Kiss of Pink because I've had this for a couple weeks and I've just been dying to use it, but it hasn't been fitting in, you know, with like my other reviews. And I think that it lines up perfectly with this Patrick Ta palette. So I'm keeping the primer light again today. Huda Beauty Water Jelly Primer. Also, I'll probably change my sweatshirt for my like Instagram pictures and the thumbnail and stuff. So just if you're wondering, if you clicked on the picture or if you clicked on this video and saw like me in a different outfit or something, that's what happened. I'm gonna use the Dior Natural Nude. This is the shade 0N. And I'll just start with this BK Beauty brush. Just taking whatever's left on my hand and on the sponge. I'm gonna try this color corrector again today from Nars, their new reading color correctors. But this time I'm only putting a dot like that. And I'm gonna start with a sponge. Last time I used a brush and it's a little weird, but. I haven't used this in a while, and this is one of my favorite concealers, the Dior Skin Correct in the shade 00N. Here we go. I was looking for the Dior cushion powder, I found it. So I'm just taking this little Shaquda Z something. I think this is the Z8. Some of the Dior loose powder. I'm just gonna set the whole face. Just switching to the puff. Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows in Taupe. And then I might put black brown on top later, but for now. So first, let's try this Blonzer. I've just been so curious, so we'll just get it out of the way and then move on to the eye look. Let's see. I'm gonna start with the KJH number 1 brush because I love this brush. And again, this is the shade Kiss of Pink. So this is supposed to be like a bronzer blush hybrid. That's pretty, it's sort of like lightweight and doesn't add texture. It's just like a nice color. I'm gonna try it with a different brush. I'll use the Hermes blush brush. God, look how much my rosacea comes through. Like this spot right here that's really red is not blush. This is just the redness from my face coming through. Just so we can all see that. I should really just start color correcting this spot right here every time. Okay, so we're gonna leave it like this for now. I'm switching to Shaquda Angled Face Brush in the Peripera Ink V Shading Powder. This powder is great because I think there's 3 shades of this, because this is number 3 Hazel Gray, but I never really stop and like talk about it. I just use it all the time. But so there's 2 lighter shades and then a deeper shade, and it's the same layout I think with the other color combinations, and it's great because you can use the lighter shades for like the temples and stuff, and then you can use the darkest shade just for the deepest like shadows, you know what I mean? So it's really good to get a complete sculpted face, basically. I'm just gonna buff real quick with this Armani powder. So once again, here it is. I'll throw up some swatches. It's like a fingerprint magnet. Again, there's 2 creams, and then these are mattes, and then the last shade down here is like a sequin shade, or like, it's basically like a matte shade with like shimmers throughout it. I'm not crazy about shades that do this. It kind of, to me, just like, I don't think there's a purpose to them, you know? So then you have another one of those sequence shades there, and then sequins? Wait, what? Anyways, okay, so another one of those weird shades here, and then there's this like this top one over here right below this cream. I don't know, when I was swatching it, it seemed more metallic than the sequins, but not as toppery as these metallics, because all these metallics here that you see are all like toppers. They're sort of like a more flaky sort of formula. I love. First, I'm taking the KJH Spectrum number 7 brush, and I'm gonna go into the lightest matte. These do have shade names. What is that called? It's called Transition. To me, this palette is just a little too warm, or, you know, it's a warm palette, I would say. Hope that he comes out with a cooler one, because it's just a lot. It's just warmth is just like, can be so overpowering, you know? I feel like it can just look really muddy if every shade is just so warm. Now I want to try going into these cream colors. I'm taking the KJH number 15 brush, and I'm gonna go into the lighter cream, this one. And I haven't swatched or touched these yet, but I'm just gonna try going in with a brush and do a little liner. I'm gonna go into the darker one now and put that on the outer portion. Okay, I think those worked nicely even on top of the powder. I'm just bringing it up to start the shape that I like. I'm gonna switch to the next dark matte, the next deepest, called called Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's just a tad deeper. And I'm taking that from here. See, it's like so red. It's just such a red brown. And the shade right next to it is even a deeper red brown. So it's like, it's just a lot of red in these browns. So far I feel like the formula is doing what I want it to. So I'm not having like crazy blending issues or anything so far. It's just sort of like normal. I'm taking the Sonia G Crease Pro. I'm going into the darkest brown in the palette, sort of into the crease and then right to the very edge of the lash line, but not going out into the wing that I made, just keeping it right here. This part I find is where there's a lot of like patchiness that can happen with deeper shades, and you know, with like the fold, like the skin at the edge of the eye can like just can be hard to get color even there. And I know a lot of people have that problem. And I have no fallout from any of these mattes so far. But I am gonna get fallout with the shimmers. I know for a fact because when I was playing with them earlier, I did. So I'm gonna take the Worker Pro from Sonia G into the sequin shade, all in the inner portion, and blending it with the rest of the shades. So this shade is good because, like, I just wish this sequin was just like straight up matte, because I really like it. Like, I don't mind all the little sparkles, of course, and I'm just gonna keep adding sparkles. Like, I love sparkles, but I don't know. Like, I'm sort of using this to dial it down. I feel like I think he could have lost this more mahogany shade, because this shade is already pretty warm, and it's a lot darker than it looks. And this shade's warm too, and both of these creams are leaning more warm. I don't think anyone really likes sequin shades. I'm confused about it. I've never heard someone say I love the sequined formula so much. It's always questionable. Like, I don't know. I haven't watched Patrick Ta's full video on this, so I didn't see his explanation for it, but I should watch that. But so I'm gonna use Legendary. I'm putting that over this sort of center part. This sort of has a pink reflect in it, to be honest. I wouldn't even bother using a brush with these shades. I mean, I've heard and seen other people's reviews using brushes, and I don't know, yeah, these just don't, I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't use a topper formula like this with a brush to begin with. When you feel it, you'll know. Like, it doesn't feel like it'd be good with a brush. And then I'm gonna take the lightest shade all over here, called Abundance, and with this shade I'm going more in the center, a little bit onto the lower lash line, and then up and over. I'm gonna go in with a pencil brush. This is the Refer number 26, and I'm going into the deepest matte again, making sure that this matte isn't lost in all of that shimmer. And I'm just slightly connecting it with the lower lash line, just with barely any product. This side's a little bit more pointed, where this side's a little more rounded here. I'm gonna see if I can take that like medium brown, let's try to round this out a little. And this is a little higher too. Taking a little bit of the Make Up Forever powder foundation, I'm going on the Refer number 2 brush. Just going right along the edges to sharpen that line. Just taking this puff from the Make Up Forever foundation and adding some coverage right underneath here with the Patrick Star foundation. Just sort of smoothing and blurring everything. Buffing a little bit more with this Armani powder. I'm gonna use the ILIA mascara because I haven't used it in forever. I've just been using the Victoria Beckham pretty much. For lips, let me use the Gucci lipstick in Peggy Taupe. I'm gonna spray my face and change into a black sweater, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I changed and sprayed my face. Use the MAC Moon Masterpiece Double Gleam, the Wayne Goss airbrush. My cheeks feel naked. I feel like I'm wearing like no fucking blush right now. I don't know, should I add more? I feel like I should still add more. Hold on, I'm gonna take this Sakumi brush and I'm just gonna like add like a little, you know, right in the hottest part. Does this have shimmer? There is a slight sheen to this, I didn't realize, but it's definitely not like a flat product for sure. Let's zoom in. All right, so my final thoughts here. Let's talk about this. I think this is great. This is a really good everyday product. Like, damn. I don't know, because it's also just not like a flat matte. There is a sheen to it. So I wonder if you can see in this. You can sort of see it has like a slight sheen. So I definitely recommend this, and there's two other shades. So there's 3 shades in total. So definitely worth checking out in my opinion. Really nice. Now this eyeshadow palette, for me, I'm sort of in the middle because I like the mattes. The creams are interesting. I definitely need to like experiment more with the creams. So you should join me on my live stream tonight, technically, because I'm filming this Wednesday. My live stream's tomorrow, Thursday, and this is going up tomorrow. So I will be doing another demo with this and playing around with it on my live stream. So if you have any questions about this palette still, or you have a specific request, you want to see a live swatch or something of anything, you know, whatever, then please join me on Newness TV. Or just, you know, Newness. I'll leave a link down below too, so you can watch that. But anyways, so yes. And then the sequin shades, I feel like are just pointless. But let me tell you, I think the mattes do blend nicely. And I really, really love the Taupe formula. It's amazing. I'm gonna say, let's see, right now, okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna swatch it next to my 2 favorite Taupe shadows that I always like reach for. Opulence and Abundance next to my favorite Taupers, and we'll check it out. They're really just like really nice and like wet looking. They are. These are not playing around. And then I'm gonna do a glitter from Pat McGrath. I mean, you can kind of see there. This has really high impact, but this is also a little bit more like heavy, slightly different textures, but similar effect. And then the last one, I'm gonna pit it up against my favorite glitter ever in the Sol d'Hiver quad. This texture is slightly different too. Yeah, the top part's a little drier. So the 2 swatches in the middle are from Patrick Ta. And then on this side is the Tom Ford, and this side is the Pat McGrath. I don't even know if you can see them right now. It's hard to tell. Pat McGrath. Hers is just a tad. It's the most sparkly, and it's just a tad bit more sparkly than Patrick Ta's, because Patrick Ta's are a little bit more like lighter, and I feel like with Pat McGrath's, the glitters are more densely packed in there, so it is a little bit shinier for sure. So bravo, I really, really like the formula of the Taupers. I'm really excited. I feel like the options are endless. I mean, so far he's been all about, you know, glamorous, sort of like more everyday tones and like nudie tones across the board. But I feel like he's gonna have to do like bright color someday, right? I feel like if you had this Taupe metallic formula in like all these cool colors, I feel like it would be a really big hit. So I'm excited for what's to come in terms of his eyeshadows. I'm sure he'll make more and there'll be a cool version. So It's good, and I feel like warm tones suit like a more people than cool tones anyways, so it was a smart move going for warm. But so that's all. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the bell so you're notified every single time that I upload a new video. Follow my Instagram, PrettyEarthAndgram. And yeah, I hope everyone comes and hangs out with me on Newness. So you can't tell if people are watching. So if you don't have like an active chat, it gets a little awkward because then you just think you're like alone. But you know, some people just watch and like, you know, while they're doing something or like, you know, on the side, or they're doing two things at once, you know, so they're like, you know how it goes. So I get it, but there was like, I feel like what felt like forever during my last stream, and I was like, is anybody here? And I was just like, uh-oh. But anyways, it's a lot of fun. I'll leave the information down below. Okay.